That's cop eye. Spinach. Eat your spinach. That's, yeah. That's what they said to me as a child. Eat your spinach. Yeah. Okay, so as a child, did I consider priesthood? Yes, I did. Not immediately, but just around the time of my first communion, the priest asked me, actually just asked me afterwards, would I like to serve at the Mass? And I remember just one day watching him celebrate the Mass, and the idea just popped into my head, perhaps I could do that. The idea did come to me as a child of being a priest. I mean, I had lots of other ideas, probably as most boys do. I wanted to do different things, being a policeman, being a pilot, being a soldier. So yeah, there were lots of things in there, but there was that, certainly that idea of priesthood did seem to be in the mix. And I can remember actually my mum, she told me that sometimes I used to, play Mass with my brother. So pretend I was, celebrating, but yeah, so yes, it was there from, I suppose, a young age. And yeah, came and went, but I think it was, I think that it was sort of in the background a lot of the time, I think, really, just under the surface. Yeah. So yeah, something that did inspire me at the time after my first communion was reading a ladybird book about John Paul II, and just reading about his life. I found that very inspiring. I guess he had such a dramatic life, and he was, so strong in his faith despite all the difficulties that he encountered, and how he was able to inspire so many people as well with his great faith and love of Jesus and Our Lady, of course. So it became more of a reality. Well, just about the age of 13, I became very seriously ill and had to go to hospital. And I was rushed in. I was in a small room on my own, and I suddenly thought, this is pretty serious, what's going on here. And I guess it was the first time in my life that I seriously started asking those questions. What is life about? What's the meaning of life? What is my purpose in life? And initially, I felt quite desolate, quite empty. But then something triggered my memory, and it was just an image of Jesus carrying his cross. Possibly it might have been inspired by that Zeffirelli film, Jesus of Nazareth. I can't quite remember, but anyway, there was just had this clear sense of Jesus carrying his cross, and also a very clear sense of Jesus understanding the suffering I was going through, because he'd been through so much himself. And so that gave me great consolation and hope, I would say, as well. I had this sort of feeling, even in that hospital, that somehow everything was going to be all right. And thank God it was. I think within 2 weeks I was back at home, and managed to get most of the summer off school. So that was quite nice in some ways. But I did actually do my exams. They said, you don't have to, but I just thought it was important to try and complete my exams. Through that, I suppose, a series of events of deepening in the understanding of my faith. So another one was in my parish, just maybe a year or two after my confirmation. I was invited to go to this Life in the Spirit seminar prayer group, and it was quite interesting in many ways, but I wasn't particularly attracted to this kind of charismatic side. But nonetheless, they managed to persuade me to say some prayers with me or over me, and that was quite a powerful experience. I just sensed God's presence quite strongly when they were praying with me. So my first assignment or appointment was in Chiswick, so Our Lady of Grace in Chiswick. That also covered the parish of St Dunstan's, Gunnersbury. So I was there for 3 years, and just during the end of my third year, the parish priest who I'd started with left, and a new priest began. So that was an interesting time, to be in the parish between the two parish priests. Yeah. And then the second appointment was at St Mary Moorfields in the city, and that also involved St Joseph's Parish, Bunhill Road, and the hospital chaplaincy at Barts and Royal London. I think I've been well prepared for it in some ways because of the previous placements I've been in. I think particularly actually the Royal London Hospital, because that was very diverse, being in that part of East London. So that was, I think, a really good preparation for coming here. But yes, it's different. Each parish has its own personality, you might say, and this one is very distinctive because it's in Harlesden, northwest London, which has its own kind of vibe, but also it's a national shrine, so it does bring people from further afield, and I think also a particular devotion of people. There's some very very pious, devout people that come here, regularly to pray, and that's very edifying to see them praying here. It certainly inspires me and challenges me to go deeper myself, to take prayer more seriously. I think, well, if a lay person can do it, so can I. I mean, how much more I should be doing in a way. But I know, the diocesan priest, we can't, much as we might like to sit around and pray all day, there are things that need to be done, very practical things, people to see, phone calls to answer, emails to respond to. So, yeah, I do find it an inspiration to be around holy people, really. And I think I'd just share those words from the gospel today that Jesus says as he walks to the disciples on the lake, do not be afraid. And those words were echoed by the great St. John Paul II at the beginning of his pontificate, and he repeated them many times. So I think it really is the key, not to be afraid, because the Lord is with us, Jesus is with us, and he has overcome evil, and he can deal with any problem that we might face. So all we have to do is just hand it over to him every day. Just to extend an invitation to anybody who'd like to come to the shrine, you'd be very welcome. This national shrine to Our Lady of Willesden. Our Lady has been quietly working away in this place, and I'm sure she still has more graces that she wants to bestow on us when we give her honour. She wants to see her children come back to the church. So even if you're just feeling a bit down or is really struggling, why not just pop in and just say a prayer, light a candle, and I think you'll find that there is a very special peace in this place, particularly in the shrine chapel. Our Lady's maternal presence is very strong there.